Right. Okay, look. I already know. You never met nobody like me. Never have you ever. But you gon' find out.
Meet Flava Hype, the enigmatic artist whose music pulses with a potent and contemplative energy, infused with a unique style and mastery of words.
We are going to let the audience know about your journey, your story, how you went from starting off to where you're at now. And you started off in the Bay Area, San Francisco, right?
That's right. Yeah, I was born and raised there. It's kind of crazy because I left there when I was like 15 or something like that. I did not want to leave because that's all I knew. And so my mom was like, hey, crazy enough. All right, so I'm going to go back a little bit. She was born and raised like in Alabama, in Montgomery, I think, or Birmingham. And she moved out to California and then had a family out there. So when I was born and everything, all I knew was California. All I knew was San Francisco. And I was in Oakland for a few years, but just the Bay Area. That's it. And then she's like, I want to go back home because things aren't working out here. I'm like, what you mean home? Because all I knew was this is my home right here. So I ended up going back, coming here, and I'm like, man, this is crazy. I'm leaving everything and everyone I know, and then came here, and that's when I wasn't even like into making music or anything like that. I was listening to it, but I wasn't into making it. So I guess it's good that I did come here because that kind of started my journey of getting into and creating music.
Here's Flava Hype during his elementary school years with Sister Nancy and Brother Courtney.
Now, a lot of people would think that Flava came from like, Public Enemy's Flava Flav or something like that. It didn't really have anything to do with that, like nothing at all. Much respect to Flava Flav and the whole Public Enemy and Chuck D and all them, but it didn't come from that. I actually didn't even come up with it myself. Here's a story about that. So I'm in high school and this dude named Marcus, like him and I was thinking about starting a rap group, or a duo or whatever. And he was like, what's your name gonna be? And I said, I got it. Now, here's the craziness. I'm gonna put it out there. Yes, it was stupid what I came up with, but I thought because I listened to, I like Ice-T and Ice Cube and like all these Ices were out there. And I was like, I gotta put Ice in my name to be cool. So I said, hey, how about my name is Ice Cat? He said, hell no. He said, that's out. He started thinking, he said, all right, how about Flava? I said, I'll be the Fever, you can be Flava, like the Fever and the Flava. I'm like, all right, that's cool. So he said, okay, look, I'm gonna start calling you that, so you better answer. So everywhere we're in school, I'm gonna just say, hey, what up, Flava? I'm not gonna call you by your name anymore. So, all right, cool. So he started doing that. I started telling other people to call me Flava, and it just kind of caught on, and I've been that ever since. Now, the Flava Hype thing came in because I made it into an acronym. And here it is. Ooh. So Flava Hype stands for, the acronym is flavored lyrics and verbal aesthetics heal your pain ethereally. And what I'm basically saying is whatever I'm coming up with is going to be on a spiritual level. It can heal your pain. It can speak to you, can speak through you, can speak for you. So I just kind of use that as the acronym, and Flava Hype is what came up. So I'm appreciative of being able to do that.
I'm appreciative of you saying that, because when you say spiritually now, that immediately touches the soul. So you're giving food for thought, and this is medication, because we all need to be medicated. Music is medicine.
It is. Man, I'm telling you, it heals so much.
I'm about to give you a new reason to hate. Lay the old excuses down, cause now is the update. I'm sick, suffering from a new disease. It attacks nerves and muscles from your neck to your knees. It's transmitted through beats and hellified rhymes. I'd have contracted it at least 75 times. What happened to getting hype? What happened to getting crunk? What happened to getting lit without having to get drunk? Am I the only person that sees this as a problem? Am I the only one thinking it's something worth resolving? Ain't no antidote and they can't create a cure. I'm the plug and this dope is 100% pure. I got a plan to permanently permeate the planet by delivering debilitating decibels of damage. When I vividly verbalize my vibrant vernacular, my mouth manifests to make my music miraculous. You getting crunk, you getting lit, you getting hype, Cronkletitis.
What I really want to discuss with you is mental health and the lows, the highs and lows in life. You know, we all go through it. What were some of those challenging times? And can you tell the audience a little bit about the challenging times that maybe you had in your life that you had to overcome?
Oh, how much time do we have? Okay, so there's a couple little sections I kind of want to get into. The first one was when I was a lot younger. Oh man. Okay, I was actually just looking at something earlier that reminded me of some of the things that I went through. And I don't want to make it seem like I had like the hardest life or anything like that, but just my journey, just talking about mine. It's different for everyone. Um, a lot of the struggles had to do with stuff that I had to deal with at home. And,
Right.
it's taken a long time for me to just kind of be able to talk about it a little bit. And it was, I mean, just keeping it real. I even put it out there in song form. I made a song about it, created this song, put it out there for the world to kind of get a little window into what's going on with me. I had some issues with my parents that were not like personal issues between me and them, but the fact that they were, I'm going to put it out there because I'm real with it. They were, drug users, and it really
Okay.
affected a lot of things that went on with me. And I'm growing up like going through puberty. I mean, puberty is already a beast anyway, but
Right.
having to deal with certain
Right.
things, I have to deal with that, like not really knowing what's going on, trying to understand how my parents are operating, what's going on with that. And I was so like naive and ignorant to it that a lot of times people were telling me things, but I didn't really want to believe it. I was like, nah, it's not that, it's not that. But I mean, it kind of was. So um it was just a struggle trying to deal with, that aspect of it growing up. I mean, in this like junior high school kids are brutal anyway.
Brutal.
So
Yeah.
they
You know
know
that.
something, and they start picking up on little things because they've had experience. They start talking about us, and I was bullied because we had like was on welfare, uh, food stamps, didn't have the clothes, name brand clothes, stuff like that. So I was just
Here.
bullied, just because I was that. Plus, I wouldn't fight anyone. It was
Right.
so they really punked on me then, but I was, just kind of going through that. But all that kind of helped me understand that, even though I went through a whole lot of stuff, like I still have like this joy in my heart anyway. I'm just like, I don't like now I'm grown, so I can kind of say, oh yeah. But going through all that when I was younger,
It's
it was
tough.
heavy going through that, trying to adjust to everything. Plus, like I said, going through puberty and trying to find myself, be my own kind of person. So that was just one part of it. The second part of it is, as I grew up, um, then I became, I joined the military at like an older age for just beginning join. I joined it like in my 20s. So when I joined, I became a behavioral health specialist in the military. And so I'm actually still in now. I'm going on my
Wow.
19th year in that. And so that really helped open my eyes to a lot of things that other people go through and listening to how they are processing, how they're coping with things. And I'm kind of learning some things from them as well while trying to help guide them. I mean, not guide them, but kind of, suggest some things, try to listen to what they have to say and help them out throughout like their journey, what they're trying to go through. So it's just I'm getting it from like both sides, kind of help me. Experiencing is one thing, and then trying to help someone else who hadn't had that experience, trying to give them a perspective that might help them out in life too.
Yeah. And you know what? I want to first and foremost thank you for your service for
Uh,
the country.
mhm.
And I mean, that's an honorable thing. And I also want to thank you for your service as far as helping individuals out. We all need therapy, you know. I
Definitely.
mean,
Yeah.
I know it might not seem like a cool thing to say, but I do feel like society and even the younger generation and our generation as well as we're starting to feel more open about saying that we need therapy. Do you agree with that?
Yes, and that was one of the things that they made us very aware when I was going through my military training for this. It's like that negative stigma has almost always been there. So it's really tough to try to break that down because it's like, you know, it's a stigma as far as just the American culture, one, and two, it's also a stigma in like, you know, African American communities, our culture. Like, you know, you'll be all right, you
Big
know, tough
time.
it out. All these kind of things is going on. It's like, you don't need to see a therapist, you weak and stuff like
Right.
that. All that stuff resonates in my mind when I'm thinking like, man, how am I going to try to let people know that it's actually okay to go talk to someone, and it's just trying to give you another tool. Someone they might coach you on how to use one of the tools that you have up here that you might not know how to use. That's basically what it's like. But no one wants to hear that for real. It's tough trying to get people to kind of break down that stigma and actually open up and be okay with it. It's like, whoo. I mean, it's pulling teeth sometimes, but it's really easy
Wow.
once you actually get in there and start talking. Because I've had to go through it myself with certain
Yeah.
issues. And at first, I was like, I'll just, I'll talk a little bit, and then once you actually start doing it, you feel like, oh man, it's like a weight lifted off of you, even if they didn't
I
really say the
know.
whole getting it out. It's
You're
crazy.
just getting it out there.
Yeah.
I agree because I've had therapy myself, and
Mm.
you know, it's made me a better person. I've evolved a lot more, and being able to self-reflect and see certain things and why maybe, you know, you may have done stuff in the past that were triggered from traumatic, you know, incidents or things in your childhood. That word triggered you just now.
Yeah, we hear a lot about that because you don't know what they are. Once it triggers you, you're not realizing, oh, I just got triggered. You just know that you're, going off or
Right,
whatever. So,
right,
it,
right.
it's tough to identify it sometimes and what they are and trying to move and navigate kind of away from it so you won't get caught up in the moment of being triggered in that and having to react a certain way. Not having to, but you react a certain way and then it's like, oh man, now you say some things or do some things you can't take back. It's just tough to try to hold yourself accountable for it and recognize it.
Now you were singing at one point, dabbling in being a singer. Tell me about the R&B stuff you had.
Okay. What had happened was, now I'm like in high school and I didn't really know what direction I was going to go in. At first, I kind of started off, I was in junior high, I was drumming. Like I was playing on the drum set in the band. I was like, oh, okay, I'll be a drummer. I was cool with it. But then I started hearing people around here sing and they were into singing and that kind of attracted some of the ladies. So I was like, damn, I need to do something because I'm not going to get it drumming. Um, so then I started, kind of trying to sing, learning how to sing, and I joined the choir with a friend of mine, and I kind of fell in love with that whole music creation. I'm like, oh, that sounds good, started doing that. But I still love hip hop. I still love rapping. So I was kind of starting to
Right.
write some and all that kind of. So I was kind of doing both. But the thing about R&B is like you really, really, really with both, you really have to continue to do it. I was only good like in a group. Like I wasn't gonna be a solo artist as far as singing goes.
Right.
Because I was singing bass, and I'm like, nobody wants to hear a bass singer just kind of as a solo artist unless you Barry White or whatever. But
Right.
so I was just in groups, and the groups didn't really work out. I mean, they were cool, but they didn't really work out. The whole time I was still writing hip hop, and I was like, I can probably just continue to do this, and I won't really need anyone else. I won't need a group to do it, even though I would like to be in a group. But that just I kind of broke away from singing, and then I started focusing more on hip hop and writing not writing R&B, but writing raps and things like that.
And let's take it back. Let's take it to that moment. So once that transition, once you were able to come to that realization and said, okay, I'm gonna do this hip hop thing. I'm gonna
Hmm.
go ahead and fully fledge myself to this. What how tell me, describe the detail of that day where you said, okay, this is what I'm gonna really do.
Um, it really came about. It wasn't just one day of doing it. It was just consecutive days of no one else was around me doing any singing, but I could always write by myself, no matter what. And I used to do this whole thing where I would even when I was singing, I would get because back in the day they had like the cassette tapes. So if you go buy a
Yeah.
single, I would always buy the single with the instrumental on it too. So I'm like, oh, so that way I like that beat.
Yes.
They're rapping on it. So I was like doing mixtape stuff without really it being a thing. I didn't even know it was mixtape. So I was writing to these beats. All of them had the beats out there, the instrumentals and all that. I'm writing to them, kind of spitting them to some of my friends. They were like, "Yeah, man, it's hot, yada yada." I'm like, "Okay," built up my confidence. I can still kind of do this. And then once everyone else started falling off with the singing stuff, I was like, I'm still keeping my music journey alive, and I'm still writing this stuff because I just wanted to continue to do that. Even though I always wanted to be in a rap group because I grew up on groups like the NWA, Run DMC, Wu Tang,
Yes.
Bone, and all them. So those like some heavy hitting groups. So I always thought that's the best way to go because you got ideas and other creative people. You can create more music like that. But none of the groups really worked out. Not because anything was necessarily wrong with it. It's just I wanted to be creative. I wanted to do something different. And a lot of times they just kind of wanted to do what the mainstream artists were doing, which is cool. But I was like, I'm not really standing out if I'm going to just do the same thing everyone else is doing. So that was kind of it enforced my idea to just kind of do my own thing. And so that's,
Right.
hey, yeah.
And you know what? I think that contributed a lot to your uniqueness. Tell me about the new singles that you got going on, man.
Jupiter. That's one of the main ones I have out now that I'm pushing. It's
That's the one I'm loving.
Appreciate that.
I
Yeah.
love Jupiter.
Me too. I kind of came up. I didn't even think that. Really, I had no concept, no idea about how I was gonna do it and what I was gonna do until I heard like the beat for it, and just once I heard it, I was like, hey, wait a minute, I kind of like this. Then it was kind of bopping a bit when I started writing. So I kind of had this idea: what if I just start claiming myself from another planet? What if I'm from Jupiter? If I'm a Jupiterian, if you will. So once I started doing that, I was like, yeah, I can go in and put this whole thing together now. That made it fun.
Hey man, I was created in a lab on a different planet, man. I cut off my legs when I got here cause I couldn't stand it. Y'all burglarizing and borrowing bars like it's cool. I'm playing dirty sandal with rappers breaking the rules. But hey, do what you do, I'ma continue to keep bringing that new. Anybody really doing it but just diffuse, so I'm spitting my soliloquy spewing on fools. And y'all ain't really righteous, I hope you don't expect respect. If you got paid for those rhymes, give who you got them from the check. Hey, you might be from Mars, but I'm from Jupiter. Okay, your lyrics might be dumb, but mine are stupider. Okay, I'm not making sense, I'm making change with it. I cut the rope off my flow to show you can't hang with it. Okay, you might be from Mars, but I'm from Jupiter. Okay, your lyrics might be dumb, but mine are stupider. I'm not making sense, I'm making change with it. I cut the rope off my flow to show you can't hang with it. First I'm a two and I'm back up in ya, helping you move like rack and pinion. Thought it was cool, but I'm malignant. I feel like grew around your minions. You ain't got a clue, your pill is blue. I baby in you like God got glue. Anybody wanna know that I can pass with my flow? Better in my arsenal, guess I got that too. See, this right here's a banger, laughing in the face of danger. I'm a stranger to making the ladies dumb with my tongue and finger. She tried to put a ring on me as if my name was Saturn, but me orbiting around her ain't part of my flight pattern.
Another thing that it's kind of hard to find is intricate wordplay. When you talk about that. Now, how did that become something that was part of your DNA, part of you?
The wordplay really kind of came from listening to other artists. Actually, I mean studied them, but really listened to see what they were doing, the different ones that were different to me. Now, my favorite of all time, my favorite. I'm not saying he's like the best technically, but my favorite is Ice Cube. Always been a huge Ice Cube fan, but I wasn't spitting the stuff Ice Cube because he was gangster with it. I'm like, I'm not a gangster, so I can't really spit that. But just the way he was doing it, his tenacity, even the anger. Even though I'm not an angry dude, he was spitting some angry lyrics, but I was still like, what is he actually saying? So I really got into. I mean, he was great at storytelling as well. So that really kind of stood out to me, especially with like and Scarface, Slick Rick, some of the better like storytellers to me.
Yes.
So I kind of got into listening to what they were saying as far as the stories they were telling, and then how they were able to incorporate some of the wordplay into it. Like, how are they able to do that? How is it? How is it? So I kept listening and listening and listening. And then I would listen to more technical rappers. And I kind of found my way to kind of marry the two things to still tell the story while having the words. And I really, one of the crazy things I used to do is, and this is a little sidebar, I used to drive around with a dictionary in my back seat. I was always like studying words,
right?
looking at words and all that. So I always wanted to
Okay.
learn the meaning of the words to make sure I use them correctly when I spit. And a few times people were like, man, you really pay attention to what you're saying. Like I can tell you don't just rap to rap. You really just pay attention to the words. I'm like, yes, that's key to understanding what's going on and what you're trying to say. So I became just more into doing that, studying words, and trying to put that into the lyrics as well. So it was really just me studying other artists and studying the dictionary. Basically what it was.
Hey. Look, man, y'all don't understand. Talk to him. How to appreciate the thickness. Yes. I'm talking about full figure, big body, however you want to put it, man. Come on. Go big girl. Shout out to Black Dave. She just a little bit. Shout out to Trinidad James. And baby got back. Mix a lot, you the OG. Putting double digit size women on Front Street. Shouting out big misses with the quickness. Body shaming lames can put on the dismiss list. Shouting out plus size. Shouting out big bone. Ladies love the skin you in. Never mind what them haters on. What can I say? I'm an admirer of thickness. I know somebody around town feel me was my witness. Didn't it used to be associated with wealthy? What was wrong with a bigger thong if she healthy? Oh, I get it. Hollywood got it twisted. Making you feel like a tractor's only attached to a twig chick. It's not a fetish, it's about what I appreciate. Skip the lettuce, scoop some healthy food on my dinner plate. Don't get me wrong, I eat a cupcake too, but I'm a bird for them curves on the.
Now, societal issues. I mean, are you getting deep? I mean, this guy's talking about real life here. How important is it to talk about real life in your raps?
It's important because another one of the people that I actually listened a lot to was I listened a lot to Pac, and also some of the other artists who really. I mean, Cube did it too. Just some of the issues that they spoke on. Now, I did figure out that what Pac was doing, he wasn't speaking as highly as he could because a lot of stuff would go over people's heads. So the messages were intertwined in the music.
Right.
And sometimes I feel like I'm saying too much lyrically as far as the words. I'm like, but I don't want to dumb anything down. I want other people to really kind of, educate themselves. I mean, I'm not saying I'm like a teacher or anything like that, but just making sure that, yeah. So I wanted to challenge myself. How can I draw more people in with what I'm saying, but still make it interesting enough to where they'll want to stay entertained with it, still make it entertaining enough. That's like a huge challenge because a lot of artists either one side or the other. It's like you're either gonna be all conscious and you're gonna have your loyal fans, but everyone's not gonna listen to it all the time. And then you're gonna have, the ones who really popping with a lot of the commercial stuff, but everyone's gonna want some depth. So I kind of try to find my niche in the middle of it to where I can be diverse enough to be able to do this and that, incorporate the two, and kind of work that way. And there was I watched one thing that really stood out in my mind a long time ago about Eminem, and he's one of the one of the OGs of it, and still one of the best ever. He said that someone told him a long time ago that because at first he was coming out with something real like poppy and kind of catchy or whatever, and then for like his first 3 albums, this is what I noticed. He would come out with something poppy, that'd be the first single. Then the next song was something real deep. Like it was like My Name Is, and then Guilty Conscience, and then The Real Slim Shady, and then Stan.
And then it was right. Yeah.
Right. And then so the next album was whatever. I'm coming, Guess Who's Back or whatever, and then Cleaning Out My Closet. So that second single was always something real deep. So he would always draw you in with an attention getter and then get you to what he really wanted to talk about. And I was like, dang, that's genius. It worked for him. Not every artist is going to do that. So, but just his ability to have I can always write something that's just going to be catchy, and I can still spit and I can spaz out, but I can always write something that's going to be a story, tell you something conscious, tell you something that's going to have deep meaning for me and my struggle and my journey and all that. So I wanted to incorporate all that in what I did. And so I wanted to be someone who's brave enough to talk about certain issues that no one else is really talking about. Even if certain people are talking about it, I talk about it in a way that they haven't talked about, like the perspective that they didn't use. I try to do that.
That's the key. What you just said right there, right? That's the trick. I never forget Gucci Mane saying that, He says that's really the trick. You have to figure out how to talk about something that's been talked about for years and years and years. How to talk about it differently. That's the key. And then once you're able to unlock that, then your success comes. And that sets me up for my next question. Here's the next question. You ready for this, Flava Hype? You being in Alabama, are you repping Alabama? Are you talking about Alabama, putting it on the map?
I have to, because I've been here so long. One of the things that I put in what I did was, I always say, but I'm always repping the West Coast because that was my home. So that's my old stomping ground. But what I did was actually put it on a shirt, and I'm gonna have some of those made as far as my merch goes. I have West Coast roots, the Dirty South boots.
Oh,
that's my thing. That's my thing. I came up with that, and I
come on, man. That's copywritten.
I got to put it out there, man, because you know the West Coast roots is born and raised there. That's where I got my I came up with that. Within the Dirty South boots, I've done most of my walking in Alabama and Montgomery, so those boots are dirty from where I'm at now. So yeah,
that sounds like a song. Is this a record? Is this? I mean, this sounds like a chorus right there.
It probably should be, and I think I might get started working on that.
Look.
All right. Man, see, now I'm convinced. Now I got to do it.
Here's Flava Hype with his oldest son DJ at his 16th birthday, and youngest son Isaiah at a recent photo shoot in 2024, showcasing new merch for the Flava Hype brand.
Like true artists, you're gonna find inspiration and creativity from anywhere. Someone could say something about a nickel, whatever, a falling sandwich, a piece of a sandwich on the ground, something. You're gonna find inspiration to talk about something that sparks an idea. A lot of artists do that, and you never really know where your inspiration is gonna come from. So all your artists don't give up no matter what. You can't say you don't have anything to talk about because there's inspiration all around.
I got the Carolina Reaper flow. Been embedded in me ever since it was an embryo. If you want proof, stop looking in the pudding. If you want to take charge, gotta get some good footing. And keep it greasy like the axle on a wheel. You Wonder Woman with the missing your high heels. Geppetto with my flow, I'm a lyrical puppeteer. I don't even use the brakes, I just accelerate and steer. Now, have you ever met somebody like me? Too clever when it comes to annihilating the beat. Too bad because I am the only person I see who can never think of taking it to the level I be. Come on.
Thank you for watching this week's episode of Believe the Hype. And remember, don't believe the hype unless it's Flava Hype.
Hey. Okay, look. I already know. You never met nobody like me. Never have you ever. But you gon' find out.